when you're living in your 5D, the sky's the limit. I think it was what I've always been trying to do. I called it living organically, letting the things unfold, seeing how they unfold, having a goal, but seeing how it unfolds, just letting it unfold. And if it's the right thing, you'll do all the things that are necessary to get it to unfold. If that is a divine yes in what you want to do, you will do all the things, and it will just end up being there. Like my husband and I talked about the possibility of touring, and maybe even going and there's a possibility that we could possibly get a grant to learn German, and then go to maybe Germany and study there, and then also while we're doing that, do music in Germany, some touring in Germany, and over in the European countries that are closer, that you can, like Croatia and stuff, that you can get to, and making a little money that way, and also experiencing, a new place, because I like that. I loved going to California. I loved coming here too. I mean, Denver, not so much. It's not like the kind of city that I vibe with. I vibed with the city a little bit in San Diego, because it was so close to the water, but there was that whole dichotomy of like everybody dressed to the nines coming out to drink, and then homeless people like the next street over or two. Um, and if we learned how as a society to treat our people better, we wouldn't have that. But I don't feel like that it's hopeless. Like there's people who, they see a problem like that and they feel kind of hopeless about it. I don't. I feel like that's on the way. I feel like this is one of the things I wanted to say that I haven't. Like when I, it was a couple 3 years. I think I've been watching Courtney for about a year now. Yeah, watching you for about a year, off and on, not everything, because I do talk to the angels myself. But whenever I find something that just feels like I should watch it, I will. And uh, uh, it was funny. I've been speaking to them for a while, but it was last year that the angels, and we had discovered Esther Hicks. Cecil had discovered her, because I guess he wanted to see if there were others like me that talked to angels, and we started listening to Esther Hicks, and her messages and stuff. But I was mostly getting messages from me. They didn't like tell me that they wanted me to tell other people. It was something. It was all about me. By that point, now we're stretching out and seeing like what else do I need to do to get noticed. Really, which thing will vibe? Which thing will vibe? Because they've told me I need to be seen, so something will work. And it was Eve that told me that I need to be seen. Eve, that's the core that of bull tolerate my angel. You know, uh, she said that I needed to be seen. Like I would say, I would call her probably my 0 point. Uh, the one I'm doing all of this for. All the other parts of me, the lifetimes of me, all were building in the angelic me. I've been building towards this point of like helping, like with whatever it was that original divine spark intended for the cycle of lives. What else was it? Because there are some things I know I've done, absolutely know I've completed, but there are some things that I haven't, like being seen in fullness. Actually getting the career that we'd set out to get, making money. Yeah, making money. Uh, Money's never been a big thing for me, but right now for me it's like I need to be at the point where I'm not no longer having to think about where my rent's coming from, and know that my rent is coming so that I can continue to flow. And I know that's on its way. a good job for that, or a good job. Some good patrons, anywhere from somebody wanting to buy music that we have had out there for a long time, books that we've had out there for a long time, to finding a new collab with, like, I have the Integrated Soul Man is what I call him. He's a design, he's a sigil that I made for to represent our band. We call him the IS, the Integrated Soul Man. It looks like a little almost sluggy looking being, and I have ideas for like merch, so collab with merch that would bring us money. Anyway, I've no idea how it's gonna come, but I also don't have any problems with any of the modes I can think about it coming from. I would love to get some of my merch started. People wearing my Integrated Soul earrings, necklaces, bracelets, hair things, drinking coffee out of a mug that has the sigil on it. Like, that concept is funny. We were called Lead From Within in 2005. We moved to Cali. When we moved to Cali, we were still called Lead From Within. And then we had a song. I don't know if it was titled Integrated Soul, but I think it was. It was the album name or something that Cecil was thinking about. And this guy that lived there, that we could have, if he hadn't had gone off into a drug tangent, poor thing, that lived there, he was good. He was like a hip-hop artist. And he thought we could do something. And again, if he hadn't gone off into the drugs at the time, we might have been able to do something together. But he's like, and I don't mean marijuana. I'm good with that. There was a lot of crystal meth going on around that time, and down in down everywhere. It was everywhere. And but he was like, ooh, that'd make a good band name. What's your name now? What's your band name now? And we're like, Lead From Within. And he's like, Integrated Soul should be your band name. And it just clicked. And we've been Integrated Soul ever since. But it feels like, to me, that's apropos. It's what we've been trying to do anyway. Like, what a part of our duty, I guess, as angels down on Earth and in the 3D is to integrate all of the pieces, the light and the dark side, the positive, negative. There is no real way to describe it that doesn't end up sounding like make one of them sound really negative, but it's not necessarily. It's just the polarities that work together that causes creation. And if you separate those polarities, well, I think it's in the Rune book there, talk about that which is disowned wreaks havoc. So say you're mostly working your feminine, and you don't you pretend like you don't have any masculine, and you try to subvert all of that masculine energy that helps do the creating, and you only try to be just the feminine energy. Then that masculine energy can cause all kinds of havoc in your life by it not being integrated as part of a whole to create your life, right? So that it's that, like, the passive energy versus the active energy, right? And you have that receptive energy, and then you use the active energy to work upon that receptive energy to get things created. And so that saying positive, even positive and negative, sometimes pulls up like negative connotations, but it really is just polarities. So that in the middle, that real creation could happen. That real alignment can happen, because if those two are separate, and there's all kinds of havoc going on in the spiritual system, and you can see it as a result in the daily life that we go through today. All the havoc that's going on in people's system, and in the whole system of the world, as in the human race. The havoc of them choosing to say, well, this one's for me, this pole's for me, this pole's for you. And it's like, but those poles are in all of us. I can't just work in this pole, or that other part of that that other pole will start wreaking havoc in my life because it's not being paid attention to. It's not being given its due. And so now it's going on the darker side of what that pole should be doing. Right? Or I don't want, the feminine, and then it goes on to the darker side. Like, I have found, like, they want, back in the South where I'm from, they wanted to call women emotional. And we are. We have emotions. It's true. It's great. But my brain couldn't fathom why they would thought they weren't emotional. Anger is an emotion. So an angry, cold person telling a person that's hot-tempered and emotional that you're controlled by your emotions is pretty ridiculous and hypocritical, because they pretend anger and coldness is not actually emotions, and they are. They actually are emotions. And so they're like, I'm in so much control of my emotions. It's like, really? It sounds to me like you're angry and not in control of your emotions. I would rather cry for a minute, get over the sadness that's causing the anger, and be my happy self again. Call me emotional if you want, because I'd rather cry than yell. That doesn't mean that sometimes I don't move through the process and feel like I have to yell in order to get that emotion out. But anger is an emotion. They like to call women emotionally and then treat people angrily and say that they're not emotional. And it's like, last time I looked, anger was an emotion. You're controlled by that anger. And then we want to claim that we're out of control. It's like, well, at least most of the time we aren't actually controlled by each emotion. We go through them and we're done. But you don't ever let go of your anger because you don't consider it emotion or you being emotional. You consider it realistic. I got sick of people who were angry calling themselves being realistic. Realistic? Who said that you had got the right to be so angry at everyone and not being realistic? Because what? The world sucks? You haven't looked out your door very lately. You don't find gratitude in the fact that the sun still comes up, or you can still use your feet, or there's any number of things the moment you wake up that you're lucky to have. You're lucky to be able to breathe. You're lucky to be able to see correctly. You're lucky to be able to have a roof over your head if you have a roof over your head. There are so many things from before. Like, you're lucky that your heart is pumping because my mom stopped oxygen into your veins so that you can get up out of the bed and walk around. The very moment you open your eyes, you're lucky because you opened your eyes. Yes, you assumed you would because you felt decent health and you didn't think you were going to die the night before. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't still be grateful for the fact that it worked like you thought it should. Because like my mom said, we're not already promised the next day. So live like it's your last. Live like you really want to live. Like it's your last day. Every day. So that you can tell the people that you love and respect them. That you love and respect them now. I remember Cecil, one of the managers, Michael, who just left for another management position. He was telling him how thankful he was for the job and all this stuff. I was like, what, are you going? And he's like, no. But because the way he was being so grateful for the job, it made him think that he was leaving. Like he was looking back on the time. And it's like, no, he was just being grateful for what he had while he had it. And so many people don't realize you have so many things to be grateful for every day. No matter what your situation is, you can find something to be grateful and build upon that gratitude. And that gratitude will make your heart glow. It'll make you feel mercy. It'll make you feel kindness. It'll make you feel all of these things that are more holistic than waking up and saying the world sucks. It is a choice. You can choose. You can choose to be angry. I know some people think that my happiness is unrealistic. That I'm happy every day. I have hope. I have optimism. But they haven't lived my life. They don't know that I've tried to have babies and that I've had these struggles because I choose happiness. I choose to go, well, those plans didn't work exactly the way I thought, but hey, I believe in miracles, and I still believe that it's a worthy life it's a worthy life to be happy, to be with the man that I love, and us working towards our dreams. So what if you think that's unrealistic? It's not you who has to live it. I'm not asking you to live it. I'm living it. I don't understand you having a problem with it and you stressing over my choices in life, which haven't become your problem. But sure, I mean, we had some friends that we had to separate ourselves from because they just didn't understand how we had so much hope and optimism, and that we were still working towards these things that they thought we should give up on because, well, hasn't life showed you yet you should be bitter and that you're not going to make whatever you want? You can't prove to me that it's not. I never had a time limit on any of it. I don't believe in time and haven't for a long time. And they don't, some of these folks that are looking out at my life and saying that I'm just unrealistic, they don't understand. So what? I don't care. I don't believe in time. I don't have to be stuck in the same limited thinking pattern that they do that makes them so unhappy. I can choose happiness and hope and continue to direct my good energies towards what I really want to do in my dreams without having to have permission. If you don't like me because of it, well, I'm sorry. I'm not here for you to like then. And I can't really take it personally. It's about them, not me. What's about me is me being happy and feeling myself full of happiness and loving myself and loving the people around me. And if they think that's unrealistic, if they think that it's unrealistic to think I can have a baby, or to think that I can still have a record career and make money doing art and all of those things and have that life that we've always had planned, well, that's their problem. I'm happy making steps towards my dream. They don't have to live it. They don't have to give any money towards it. The people who resonate with me and want to give me money will. Those folks, unfortunately, will probably not be coming to the 3D with me because they believe in a life of limitations, and they have for a long time. They believe that you should be bitter over those limitations and then kill everybody, be a buzzkill, and kill everybody else's joy over hope and optimism. But I can't do that. I am built on that. I don't know when I started being built on that, but have always, from what I can tell, I don't remember spending like a ton of time being miserable. Some, of course, when I was a teenager, like I said, I wouldn't redo those years. When I was a teenager, there was a lot of emotions. And it was a little bit like having that when all of this condition was first starting. It was a little bit like having a new, going through puberty again in ways. But so my whole goal is just to live my life and be me. There'll be people who love me for it. There'll be people who are indifferent for it. And there'll be people who hate me for it, but I've never understood that either. If you don't like the message that I have to send, if you don't like the life that I'm living, stop watching. I don't need you to. Yeah, I need to be seen, but I need to be seen by those that are allotted to need to see me. Those that are resonating with the messages that I bring in the life that I have to share. If you got something negative to say it if you want. It's not going to affect me. But you can just not put yourself through it and move on. I wouldn't understand why anybody would put themselves through something that they hate so much. And I don't mean like becoming informed about some things that are not so nice, like in the political realm or whatever. But just like like the fact that I'm not Christian, or that I'm New Agey, or that I talk to angels, or that I believe these things, or any of these other things, that they could judge me on. I don't care. I don't care. I was a fat girl. One of my highest videos, like a 2,000 hitter, the first one that hit so high, was because my husband, while I was learning what was it, the dance, it was one of the dances by ATs, Bouncy. While I was learning Bouncy, I was dressed in my exercise bra, which I do a lot, and my jogging pants, which were starting to get a little loose on me, and I was trying the dance, and he was just taping it, and he put it out, and I said, oh, well, okay, if you want to, I don't care. I don't feel ashamed. Yeah, I got a little bit of the skin is starting to form, and I'm still jiggly, but it's just me dancing, sure. And I got so much attention for the bravery of putting out me jiggly skin. Me jiggly skin. And it was like, that's great. Because I'm not ashamed. I don't care. Yeah, they don't know what the struggles that led to me becoming fat or whatever. They don't know all of that. And it's not theirs to know unless they ask me. But judgment, if you don't like it, I don't understand you tormenting yourself with it. Just move on to something you do like. Something that causes your heart to lift with joy. If I'm not that thing, find that thing. Don't torment yourself with me just to make yourself angry. That's just, to me, a very sad thing to do. I look for things that I like, except for sometimes in the political arena, because you have to kind of keep up with what is going on around you in America, just so that you stay informed of other people's situations while you're moving into the 5D. I was apolitical for a long time. I really got into politics the first time when Obama was becoming president. It was apolitical because it just seems like so much negativity. I can't stand it. Just tell me the policies. Quit picking at each other like you're not human beings. So yeah, that's my opinion. That I'm almost turned off of it again to become apolitical. Except that right now, it's so important that people like stay engaged with what's going on in our country, in the world, but especially in our country right now, because we could lose everything that we've gained, and I don't want people in 3D to have to do that. A lot of the things I don't really have to worry about except for maybe voting, but like they're already trying to go backwards, and it's not going to be able to work, but it will cause some havoc, and it has been causing some havoc, because the old is trying the best to not be taken into the new by the new, but you can't actually stop like the energies from changing. Like you can't stop the ages from turning, and whatever it does to the actual human condition, the earth, and this is the first time that people have been alive in the most of the written history, or the ages are changing again. And so I know it's good things are coming, but there's going to be, I think people are going to be waking up that never intended to wake up, so they're going to be faced with the side of themselves that's been wreaking havoc. They're going to be faced, and like the thing that I didn't ever get around to is like, after a couple of years, I finally started seeing, just all of a sudden, and I didn't look up anything, but all of a sudden, because this is the way it works for me, all of a sudden on YouTube's is a bunch of people who do tarot cards, and a bunch of people who talk to angels. And I was getting these are the messages, and then some of it was AI, and I tried to stay away from the AI. I'd rather see the person that I'm talking to. Not that the AI itself isn't driven by a person. Just I'd rather actually see the person usually who is doing a tarot reading or the cards at the very least, and it not be like AI generated stuff. I use a little bit ourselves for trying to get some of the videos that we're trying to make just because we don't have people to fill it up with. But there's something about it that I don't want AI to be stealing anybody's art. I'm an artist myself. I don't want, and I'm definitely not going to make words and stuff by AI. I'm a poet and stuff, and we've got to get it from somewhere. So it feels like that they must be pulling it from other artists and other people. And so until I'm sure about that, I try to, like my poster, Two Worlds Colliding. I couldn't draw that, so we put that together with AI. But it's like when it's something like two humans, it's fun to AI myself as cartoony a little bit. If I look a little cartoony, I like it. But otherwise, look, besides a few filters to maybe change the lighting, I'm unashamed. I don't dislike the way I look. I've never thought I was ugly. Well, I'll take that back. There could have been some times in high school when I was going through all of that I thought I was ugly, but I really don't. I don't. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I also know that I'm not ugly. My husband is extremely attracted to me, and I've had quite a few other people be attractive to me over time, so it's not like I think I'm ugly. I just never really put a lot of thought to it after my husband and I got together, until this whole like thing of my body starting to do its thing. So and the body dysmorphia, that whole looking for flaws, both body dysmorphia, I think, and anorexia, how those elements is that your brain starts looking for flaws rather than looking at what is, and all it sees is the flaws. So a couple extra pounds can become 10 right quick in your brain, and you see it in the mirror. It's ridiculous how much weight I look like I lost in one night because my brain had been seeing it a different way. So when I look at I'm like, I ate what I needed to eat today, and now I put on enough of my curves again, and I was starting to get a little pudgy in the middle to tell me I'm alive enough to do my exercises. Now I can take that back on, and I've been enjoying it. It's not a lot of cardio. I don't really need a lot of cardio. I just need to tone up, but it is cardio because when you work on your core muscles, like your thighs, your big muscles, and your abs, it is cardio. It's just not the same as running, like a fast cardio. But I don't really have to have all of that. I probably will get a bunch of cardio when I'm really once I get into the exercise enough. I'm going to be driven to dance more because I'll have the energy to, and that's where I'll get cardio, even though I don't really need it, but I will get it. I'll have to then go, am I putting in enough to keep my ass and butt there? Because I want my ass and butt, my ass and tits. I'm an ass woman. My ass and tits, because I'm an hourglass figure, and I trigger myself. I don't look right if I don't have tits and an ass. I just don't. I don't look like myself, so, and I want to look like me. I want to be me. So, yeah. I guess I finally said whatever thing I was going to say. And I guess tomorrow I'll probably do more. Cecil will be home, so it might be a together thing, or it'll be when he's sleeping or something. He's got about another hour, and I've got about 2 hours into this. So, I don't know how I'm going to, or if I'm going to, like, chop it up, or if I'm just going to put it up like it is. I don't really have any ideas yet exactly how I'm going to go about that. Right now, my goal is just to get the days done and then decide how I present the material that I get during these days. And then work on, of course, I did get another poem. I got a poem. I asked for it, and I said that's what I wanted. And just yesterday, I was able to write a poem, so I'm happy about that. That makes me so happy. And so, anyway, I love you guys, even if it's just me, but I'm pretty sure I'll end up being showing it to you, Cortnie, or at least, inviting you to actually see the letters to Cortnie, and because I want you to know how much you've meant to me. I didn't need the proof, and I don't always need the messages. I will take the messages from any angel that'll give it to me, but I did it because I felt connected, not because I thought that I needed the messages from the angels, but because I felt connected to you, and that's what keeps me coming back. Is that I feel this connection that I have been feeling for a while because of the way the angels speak to me through the images of others on the screen. So I feel this connection, and I feel like I want you to have everything that your divine self wants and needs. And I feel like you can, and that you're well on your way to doing it, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that there are people out here who are living the kinds of life, those authentic lives that I've been trying to reach for my whole entire life, at least my whole entire adult life. And that there's so many easier ways now to get that out there to people that you may have never gotten to meet if it weren't for the fact that we have such access to all across the world, the globe, because of the internet. I know it has its problems. Everything that we do for good and beautiful can be done for bad, and as well, it can be used for that. But if you have the notion to use it to connect with people who are like you, that you can do so, and you can feel so much love for someone that you've never ever met, that it feels like your world has expanded to encompass the whole of the universe, and that it makes that oneness so much more excuse me, it makes that oneness so much more obvious, so much more effective and powerful. Just being able to see these, all of these new people, because from when I started, it was called crazy. I mean, people didn't do it because they were afraid they would be called a charlatan, and that's why I was hesitant to talk to people about my spiritual life, because I felt like I had been misguided by religious people in my life, and those around me that were supposed to be telling me how to treat other people, that I didn't really want, not only not have anyone in the physical reality, but to be someone who is called a charlatan because somebody thinks I'm trying to teach somebody something just to get something from them. So I just sort of kept it personal. And now I feel like that I'm not certain how yet, but I'm supposed to share all of it. That the things that I've been keeping, my spiritual life that I've been keeping, so personal, because back in the day that I started this, that people became like cults, and not just it's just a bunch of people who have similar ideas coming together to enjoy the energy. The whole thing of Jessa was saying, where two or more are gathered in my name, and by my name he means in love. In love, then there I am also. That you can, if you come together in a righteous cause, in love, whether it be creative for just purposes of creation, or creative in purposes of helping the humanity find a better way to feed hungry, house homeless, it can be done. The right people in the 5D can come together and do it. It's just people have to stand out of their own way by believing it's possible, first of all. because everybody's like, well, you have to have control. Somebody has to. No, you don't. Each individual, if they were in control of their divine self, or allowed themselves to be in their divine self to be in control and not wreak havoc because they're ignoring it, if they were in touch with their divine self, they would know their true purpose, and there would be so much more of a chance for everyone to actually be living their purpose. But even a lot of these rich guys, they may know manifestation, but I'm not sure they're living their true purpose, because I don't see them being happier for their money. I see them as being hoarders, and the hoarding's a problem. Whether it's pocketbooks, cats. I seem to be a cat hoarder. I have 5, but I've never intended to have 5. But like, whether it's hoarding like garbage, clothes, whatever it is, hoarding is still a problem. It doesn't even matter that it's money in the bank and it's not stacked up in your friggin' house so they can see how much of a problem it is. You're feeling something when you feel like you need to stack the money up so much so, and that you're not actually helping other people with the extra that you have. If you're happy, if you're doing your 5D thing and making lots of money and happy, you can also see it by the fruits of what you do. You'll be finding people to help that are in situations that you can help them from. Because that just does happen when you're in your 5D. People don't even know how addictive giving can be. Like, when you know that that person really needed that and you were able to provide it. It can be its own little addiction. It's a good one to have, but it can be its own little addiction. So, I hope more people get addicted to that than to anger. To seeing somebody in need and then fulfilling that need and feeling so great about it that it becomes addictive rather than anger. Because I think that right now we have a anger epidemic, which is leading to a loneliness epidemic because people don't like to be around angry people. So, anyway, I guess that's enough. Almost 2 hours. I laughed, I cried, and I coughed, which I'll probably take out, but I might not. Anyway, I love you, Courtney. I love all the people that you help. I'm certain they're all great. And I love me. I know I'll probably be singing again. And I love you, Cecil, because you'll probably watch it. You are my biggest fan. And I'll be talking to you later. This was great. Bye. Love you.